Film rolling.
Cut, please.
Film rolling.
Scene bucket, take 3. Action.
Hey guys, it's Blake Calhoun. If you follow this YouTube channel, you know that I am passionate about filmmaking and independent film in particular. I've directed numerous feature films, web series, short films, and shot on everything from red cameras to smartphones. The approach I've taken, and I would call it a theme to this channel, is don't wait to create. Don't just sit around and talk about making movies or whatever it is you want to create. Get out there and do it. So today's episode's a little bit different. Some New Zealand filmmakers made a really good movie and they shot it on an iPhone. I connected with them via Twitter, asked if we could do some interviews with the cast and crew about what it was like making a feature film with a smartphone. If you're interested in making your own movie, your own indie film, I think you'll find a lot of value here, and not to mention a lot of inspiration. The writer-director's day job is a police officer. They shot this in 6 days for 12,000 New Zealand dollars. That's about 8,000 US dollars. They're in New Zealand, I'm in the US. I sent them questions and they sent me back some video and audio files. I'll play the trailer of their movie first and then we'll get into the interviews.
Blue Moon is a film about 2 guys in a hostage situation in an all-night gas station.
Hello, darling.
Oh God, Horace, what a day. So, how's it going over there? Are you still at work? You should get some sleep. You know what you're like if you don't sleep.
It's busy. It's very, very busy.
You're lying to Mum. Keeping secrets, sneaking around.
Sorry about that. Urgent housekeeping, or else the boss will have a go. Oh.
Where's my $500,000? You never introduced yourself. I'm Darren. What's your name?
Dave Jones.
Nice to meet you, Dave Jones. Now, what's your real name? I'm gonna take the cash. All the cash, and I'm out of here. All you gotta do is forget that I was ever here. You blow the whistle. The you kids get it. I got people that can get to them. Turn around and face the wall.
I've got too much to lose. You do not have to do this.
Just
I swear
turn
I
around.
You don't have to do this.
I'm not gonna shoot you. 23 minutes, longest 3 minutes of our lives.
Oh, bashed my head on a shelf out the back.
Quiet night?
Well, so far.
I knew I was going to make a film in a single location in real time. And so what I mean by that is every minute of film time is a minute of story time. So basically the camera's rolling near enough continuously for 90 minutes and the audience is right in the middle of the action.
Take 1.
First idea of doing it on a smartphone came from actually me, who made a joke to Stef about, well, offhandedly, why don't we just shoot this on an iPhone? Because we're not getting any traction from any other funding body, etc., etc. So let's just do it ourselves. Let's make it on a smartphone. Let's do an amazing job, and proof is in the pudding.
In Blue Moon we had access to the location for 6 nights. So we had 6 nights, 5 hours a night. So we had 30 hours to shoot the film in. And so there was a great need for speed.
And cut. Fantastic.
I left the camera in the very capable hands of Ryan O'Rourke, the cinematographer.
I'd never shot a feature film before this. This was my first attempt at that. Made a number of short films, including a few with Stef Harris, who's the writer and director of Blue Moon. So that was really good. We had a good relationship going into this. And I'd never shot anything on a phone before, so that was a big learning curve, but really, really happy with how it all turned out. And a lot of credit for that has to go to the app, I think. The FiLMiC Pro app that we used to shoot the film with gave us a huge amount of control over the footage we were capturing, and the sort of features that you'd expect on a high-end cinema camera, so that made a real difference.
I knew where I wanted the frame. I knew that I'd drawn out the shots. I knew where I wanted to place the camera. I wanted to keep the camera moving the whole time, and this was the style of the film. Is to have a camera that breathes and moves with the actors and the story.
Biggest challenge was probably the small sensor on the iPhone outside at night. We did a lot of test shooting, and we were pretty happy that we'd be able to shoot inside the service station with light that was already there, the fluorescent lighting inside the service station. We didn't want to have to put extra light into the scene because that would have slowed us down too much, lighting each scene. But also we were really happy with the look from the service station lighting. It was that harsh lighting that you'd expect at a service station at 3 o'clock in the morning. And it really added to the ambience of the film. Outside, it was a bit of a different story. We did try to light quite a wide area, but again, we only had 6 nights to shoot this film, so we weren't able to relight for various shots. So did what we could, and then just live with it basically, but still pretty impressed with what the iPhone managed to capture in the middle of a dark night in the South Island of New Zealand.
I don't think any other camera would have delivered the speed that we needed. Basically, the actors were running lines the entire time, and Ryan, the cinematographer, was shooting as fast as I could read out the next scene. It was there was no stop, start, reset. None of that was going on. We were just running continuously, and it was the camera that allowed us to do that. The performances, it was very important to have the performances live, and that is to have both actors feeding off each other. They were able to rehearse the scenes just like a play, and we could run the camera. Some of the takes were 8 to 10 minutes, but just by keeping out of the way of the actors, this allowed them to get into a zone where they could deliver some absolutely stunning performances.
Take 1. And action.
Shooting on the iPhone was actually a great experience. I'd never done it before, apart from doing audition tests, and I found the whole experience rather exhilarating. Camera was smaller, the invasion of outside influences on what we were doing as actors wasn't present, so I felt I could relate to Jed a lot more, and Olivia and Doug and all the other actors. Felt like we were really doing a play, which was a great experience, to be honest.
Shooting with a smartphone was an amazing experience overall, I'd say. We were able to move fast. We had the iPhone on a gimbal most of the time. We also used a monopod and a tripod occasionally, but there were no extensive setups between shots. That really helped the actors. Quite a lot of feedback from the 2 lead actors, Mark Hadlow and Jed Brophy, who've done a huge amount of film work, that they really enjoyed working with a smaller camera that they felt was a lot less intrusive into their performances.
Mark and I certainly found that it was beneficial for us to be working with such a small crew. You do on big jobs, on big films, where you've got a crew of sometimes 100, 200 people, even more. Each person, if it takes 30 seconds longer, then it becomes a much longer day. There's a lot of kind of time wasted. So having a crew who all knew what they were doing and what their jobs were, but having a small crew and just the one cinematographer with the camera allowed us an enormous amount of freedom as actors to actually have more time to focus on what we were doing in terms of being in character without having to jump in and out of character so much. We're able to kind of maintain the relationship between the 2 characters much better without any kind of distractions.
Shooting with iPhone, there really were no obstacles at all, and I mean literally no obstacles. There's no tripod. We didn't have any tracks to trip over. We didn't need a dolly. It was all on the gimbal. So literally, it just took so much of the technical stuff away and freed us up just to tell the story.
Mark and I have both worked on Uber features. We both worked on The Hobbit and I worked on Lord of the Rings, and there is a lot of setup with a big crew. That can be a very, very long day to shoot only 2 minutes of usable footage, whereas we had 30 hours to shoot 85 minutes, so we couldn't really muck around.
I think it set us free. It just made it so easy for us to just concentrate on the most important aspect of the film, which is two actors telling a story.
I've showed this film to people and they do not believe that it was shot on an iPhone. The quality of it and the way that we were able to use the camera to get those performances.
I think Blue Moon's exceptional. We did a great job on an iPhone in a week, in 30 hours, and produced something that's pretty spectacular.
Would I shoot another film on a smartphone? Yes, in a heartbeat I would. Basically, I'm a storyteller, I'm a writer, and what we shoot on isn't that important. The iPhone allowed us to tell this story. It had some limitations, but within that we told the story we wanted to tell.
Everyone's got an amazing camera in their pocket, basically. It doesn't hold you back when you're making a film. It's a tool. And I think what it shows me is that story's king, that if you've got a good story, it doesn't really matter what camera you're using to shoot it with.
You can get very tired of talking about budgets and talking about films you want to make, and with this one we had a very limited budget and I was able to tell the actors, we've got a green light, we can shoot this thing, let's set a date and do it.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Wanted to say thank you to Stef and his cast and crew for taking time to send us these interview clips. And to hear more from these guys about the film and the process, check out our new podcast. It's called Almost Professional. Yeah, it's a tongue-in-cheek name, but it's all about indie filmmaking, camera tech, mobile filmmaking, DIY filmmaking. It's a companion show to this channel. So go check that out and please subscribe. And thanks for watching this episode. Hope you liked it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, definitely do that so you won't miss any of our future videos. And I'll see you in the next one.